24, Live Another Day is over, but we are just getting started here on 24 Live on post-show recaps. And now, here are the two guys who are here with a heavy heart tonight. Rob Cesternino, and filling in for Josh Wigler, who's on assignment, it's Zach Brooks. Zach, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Josh, just stay where you are. I'm going to send somebody to get you. Just stay there. Don't move. Please don't leave.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Yes, a very sad night tonight as our nation's leader, President Heller, has made the ultimate sacrifice to save the people of London. To President Heller, Zach.
Oh, and we didn't get a silent clock, apparently.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What I thought this was the most emotional. It was not the most action-packed episode of 24 this season, but I felt like that this was the most emotionally riveting episode of 24 Live Another Day. Far and away.
Yeah, I loved the last scene was great. The music was really, it was like reminded me of, Independence Day, the president giving a speech, like that patriotic music in the background. But I was mad that in the preview, I saw everything up until the last 10 seconds of this episode.
They've done that a lot this season. They've done that a lot.
It took all the suspense away. I mean, the only thing I didn't know was if they were going to pull the trigger or not in this episode. But I knew they were going to get him in their locks, and that made me real mad.
If you watch the clips that happen on the 24 Fox YouTube account, they'll show you something up until 55 minutes into the episode. Like, it's not like they just show you. They're going to take anything they have, any good scene, and they're going to just cannibalize it and put it up on YouTube and put it in the commercials. They don't care.
And I guess that's what they've always done, too. Like, thinking back to the earlier seasons of 24, they'd always show you, like, oh, in the next episode this is going to happen, and it doesn't happen until 50 minutes in. But I had a lot of, really exciting thoughts go through my head after Heller was killed about where we're going to be next week, and then saw the preview, and I was like, okay, it's not where I thought we were going to be.
All right, so we're going to break it all down here tonight. It's going to be a very fun show. To everybody who is here with us live, you're in for a treat, and if you're listening to us in the archives, you have a treat ahead of you because we are taking your questions here and your comments in the chat room, hashtag PS Recaps, and, of course, on our YouTube channel at postshowrecaps.com/YouTube. And you could subscribe as well to our 24 podcast in iTunes. Go to postshowrecaps.com/24 iTunes. Only 4 episodes left now after this, Zach. Can you believe it?
I'm almost wishing this was a 24-episode season. I know we'd probably stretch some stuff out and might get some crap in there, but I'm not ready for it to end already.
We're in the back third starting next week. This is it.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if we're going to have a 2-hour finale or not, so I'm not sure how many weeks we have left, but it kind of sucks.
Yeah, it went by fast. Okay, so let's get into talking about President Heller. Some people in the chat room are saying now, because we did not get the silent clock, does that mean President Heller is not dead? Is that a possibility?
I think he's got to be dead. I don't know how you survive a blast like that, even though the CGI of that looked kind of not that great. But I don't think he survived that. Do you?
I don't see how. I don't see a way. Unless there was was the USS Enterprise orbiting the Earth and that they could have beamed him out at the last second?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what could have happened that he could have survived that. It was a pretty big explosion, but big enough that it did not engulf Jack somehow. And he didn't seem concerned about getting out of there.
Is there a trap door underneath Wembley Stadium at midfield? Is there sort of where they could just sort of drop somebody out?
Oh, man, that would be awesome.
That would be
but
awesome.
It still probably would be blown up.
But I would be watching a lot more soccer if there was a trap door that opened at midfield and sort of people end up falling through.
Yeah, what a huge day for soccer. Between the World Cup and this, I mean, can't get much more soccer on TV than that.
Yeah, but this is sort of a down note for soccer. They blew up a soccer stadium.
Yeah, but, the U.S. team won, so everybody's happy.
I'm sure there's a lot of hooligans that would be pissed. Now, do they just keep Wembley Stadium, just the lights completely on there, and there's nothing going on?
And nobody works there? I expected some guy that would just be kind of sweeping in the stands, or maybe he is, and he's really, really freaked out and has a great story for his family.
Like, I could just break into, Citi Field at nighttime. They keep the lights on. You could just, play a game, land a helicopter on the field, and do whatever.
Yeah, why didn't they land the helicopter on the field? I thought that would have been much more spectacular.
Yeah, they probably didn't have a permit for that, but
Yeah.
they parked the parking. They had a good spot out front, and it looked like they locked the helicopter when they got out of it too.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Desmond would run the stands in the soccer stadium and lost, so I guess that's just a thing. You can just get in.
You could just get in. Okay. All right. So that's really our top story right now. We will cover everything that happened in the episode. Let me just go through a couple of headlines. Jordan Reed, dead or alive?
They keep showing him, but I think he's got to be dead. I don't know. He didn't look like he was moving much.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think?
No, because I feel like his story's not over yet. We went through all this. I feel like he's got to get a text message off to Kate Morgan like, "Oh, Steve Navarro tried to kill me." I don't know why his text message would make an emoji of with X's for eyes. I'm dead. Steve Navarro killed me. So I think that he needs to still get the information out that Steve Navarro is a bad dude.
I think Kate Morgan is onto the trail of Steve Navarro.
Yeah. Bauer is God has a good question. It wasn't real soccer because no one fell on the ground rolling around pretending to be injured. Do you think that should President Heller have gotten a red card if it turns out that he's not actually dead and he was just faking being dead?
Yeah, eject him. Get him out of here.
Get him out of there. And no extra time for Jack Bauer or President Heller or anybody this time, right?
Yeah, I was sort of waiting for Jack Bauer to at the last second get a call from Chloe and run out onto the field and push the president out of the way or something.
Yeah,
I thought somehow we were getting out of this.
What I thought was going to happen was Chloe's like, "Oh, this one drone, I can't do anything, but the other two drones I can get into." I don't know why she didn't try, if she could get in, blow up the drone that was right there with the other two drones.
Yeah, I mean, I think what she was saying is that it's it's not the specific drones, because she said she can get into 3 different areas. So I think one's the targeting, one's the weapon, and maybe one's the flying. So it was the different functions of the drones, not the drones themselves.
What I've been wondering this whole episode is why can't, whether it's our actually manned aircraft, or I'm assuming the British may have some aircraft as well, why doesn't anybody go up there and start shooting these drones out of the sky?
People also seem to be kind of reacting like no big deal. Everybody's just walking around. There's been all these drone strikes in London. They're not doing anything to take down the planes, and they're not reacting in a paranoid manner, as I would think you would.
It was one thing when they sort of had the hospital. They called it on the news. Oh, hospital explosion! But as Jack Bauer is going through having a high-speed chase through the streets of London, and missiles are coming down out of the sky, yeah, you would think there'd be a little bit more of a panic in the streets.
Or at least the hour afterwards.
You would think so at some point. That being said, or you think if they were doing that, you would think they'd sort of have a no-fly zone and sort of Jack Bauer wouldn't be able to fly a helicopter around. But whatever. Let's not nitpick this too much, because this could be a whole wormhole that ends up completely swallowing the rest of the show.
Yeah, but I do think the drones are flying at an invisible subsonic level, or I don't know a lot about aerospace, but I think they're flying at a level where it's hard to detect them.
They're like Stealth are us, and they cannot be detected. Is that what's going on?
Stealth are drones.
Because there was one point where they were Margot al-Harazzi was basically moving around the whole episode, and they're like, "All right, put the drones on autopilot. We'll come back in 50 minutes." The drones were just
and they didn't crash into each other. They're smart drones. They're like dragons.
Yeah, that's very good, and actually smarter than dragons, because dragons are burning babies up and stuff, and drones are not.
The drones are much more well behaved.
Yeah. Okay, let's get through some of the scenes from the episode, and then sort of talk about the big picture stuff as we go along. So the episode sort of starts off with Simone, and the doctors are trying to work on her, but she's in pretty lousy shape.
Yeah, they need to drill a hole into her brain.
That's not good.
No, that's never a good diagnosis.
Never a good diagnosis. And Jack and Kate are talking about it, and basically Kate's like, "Jack, she's not going to do so good," and Jack's like, "Wake her up. If she dies, she dies." Jack really hates Simone al-Harazzi, because later on in the episode, he's going to use a worse language to talk about her.
Yeah, it was really kind of out of left field. Jack, I don't really know why Jack hates Simone this much. I mean, do you think there's going to be more to that? Because we haven't
I don't
seen him act like this towards somebody who's just an accomplice before.
know, because she dead, right?
Yeah, I mean, and they showed her at the end of the episode too. And I just assume that Simone's story is kind of over. She gave him the information.
Yeah, I think she's done. And you would think that Jack Bauer is somebody who has like a daughter who is probably, similar age as Margot al-harazzi, or at least she was like 10 years ago. Jack Bauer really hates Margot al-harazzi, especially last week. He was talking about her, or Simone al-harazzi, like, oh, I really hate these people. And this week he says to her, if she dies, she dies. Later on in the episode, he's going to say, wake the bitch up.
I really like that. I thought that line was one of the top Bauer lines of the
Yeah,
the
Jack
season,
Bauer
for sure.
really hates Simone al-harazzi. Okay, so basically, there's a lot of Keystone Cops that goes on here with this, the worst hitman in the world, the not so excellence of execution. The guy, does this guy have a name at all that's trying to kill Jordan Reed?
Now, me and my friend who were watching this just kept calling him the guy or the assassin. I tweeted during the episode that this guy really puts the ass in assassin.
Yeah,
And
worst
I was pretty proud
henchman
of that.
ever. Yeah, this guy is terrible at his job. You had one job. You had one job, henchman.
And you had multiple chances to do it. Also, did you notice the henchman's phone?
Yeah, the henchman has like a terrible, like the worst phone ever. Like, do not tell me this is the year 2022 ever again. After this guy has like a phone from like 1998.
Do you think the reason why he's such a bad henchman is because he's constantly like peeking off in the corners to play Snake? He's like, oh, I almost got it.
He's a terrible henchman. And more on that later. But so Navarro calls the hitman like, hey, what's going on? He's like, I didn't get him. I didn't get him. He must be around here somewhere. And Jordan is like trying to sneak around, and unfortunately, he's got the old waterlogged iPhone problem. You got to put that in some rice, right?
Yeah, I mean, if this is supposed to be the future, that new Galaxy just came out that's supposed to be waterproof. I mean, how are we supposed to believe that his phone is waterlogged? Come on.
I mean, in the future, Marty McFly has a jacket that dries itself. You're telling me that the iPhone can't dry itself?
It's got a huge wet spot right in the middle too.
No, that's terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
that is the worst part of this day for Jordan Reed.
Yeah, nobody wants to use the iPhone in the wet spot. That's terrible. Okay, so then Jack and Heller have a conversation. At the last episode, Heller's like, Jack, I need you to come to my office. And so Jack gets there, and he says basically, Heller is very nice, and Jack is probably a little caught off guard. He's like, Jack, sit down. I got to talk to you. And he's like, okay. And he's like, I'm going to play you this video that I've got here for you, Jack. And apparently President Heller can, like, edit video now, because this only happened, like, 5 minutes ago. I'm only going to play you the relevant part of this conversation, son. And so he puts it on. He has it all queued up, so that he's very technologically savvy now, President Heller.
Yeah, and he seems really kind of like, I don't know about it, excited, but he seems really into this plan that he's going to go and he's going to go sacrifice himself. And
got to make big moves if you want to win 24.
Apparently, I don't know if this was one of the smarter ones. This might go down as one of the dumbest moves.
No, this is all about big moves. Okay, so basically, President Heller tells Jack that he's resigning, and I thought this was the first of the really great emotional scenes in this episode, because Jack says, there has to be another way. I don't want to be a part of this. And Heller's like, no, that's it. This is it. And so when Heller gets to the point where he says, Jack, I've been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And Jack says, it's not just about you. And he says, I know it's not just about me. And that was where, when Heller yells and talks about how it's about these people, it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, I wrote down "whoa" in my notes a couple times throughout this episode, and that was the first time that I was just like, that was a great kind of one-on-one scene. And when you and I talked about House of Cards, back earlier this year, we talked a lot about some of the one-on-one scenes that would come up and how powerful those were. And this reminded me of one of those. This was great.
Yeah, it was really fantastic. And when Heller is yelling and he says, let me make it simple. If you were in my shoes, you'd do the same thing. And he says, face it, son. I loved it. When Jack Bauer got sunned, usually Jack Bauer is the one sunning people, and President Heller sunned Jack Bauer.
Yeah, didn't you feel like old Jack would have not taken this answer and would have tried to come up with a plan?
Yeah, Jack Bauer is sort of like, well, okay, I guess so. That Jack Bauer just went along with it. He gave, I mean, I guess that it was what President Heller wanted, so he gave him what he wanted. But Jack Bauer was sort of like had his hands tied. Like Jack Bauer is basically did not, basically takes out all his aggression on Simone al-Harazzi on the phone because Jack Bauer, other than punching out a Secret Service guy, does not have very many Jack Bauer-y things to do in this episode.
No, he really was, just kind of the facilitator to make this plan happen, and
He
didn't try to do anything on his own.
Yeah, he basically, the extent he talks to Kate Morgan on the phone, and then he drives the president to where he's going to be murdered. Like that's basically Jack Bauer's job in this episode. Okay, so we end up getting Mark Boudreau, and Mark Boudreau is kind of a bro in this episode. He is not as douchey as his normal self.
No, they could trust each other. They realize that they can be friends now, and they're working towards a common cause. And I think Boudreau is not disappointed to get the president out of the picture.
Yeah, so first
he wanted that to happen.
First, Heller and Mark, they have their conversation, and Heller's like, are you with me or not? And so, all right, fine. But I don't know. I do feel like Mark really is sincere towards the president, especially when he's talking with Audrey later on in the episode when he talks about how I wish I could I would do it again because I love that man. He's the finest man I ever met. Like I do feel like Mark is sincere about his feelings about President Heller.
Yeah, I think so, but he also has all of this stuff going on with the Russians and signing that letter. So if the president is dead, the president can't say he didn't sign that letter.
Okay, so Jack is on the phone with Kate. Then that's when Jack tells Kate to wake the bitch up. It's great.
That was a classic line.
And Kate Morgan pulls a gun on a doctor. Oh my god.
I mean, that doctor's got to kind of figure that you're working in this what is it, CIA headquarters. Like some crazy stuff is going to happen. He shouldn't be that surprised.
All right, so they wake her up, and basically she says that the Naveed has a disc under the floorboards, and I'm like, what? We got a disc? And I was ready to riot if Naveed had a CD hidden under the thing. And luckily, it was like a like an external hard drive. I guess I could buy that a little bit more. But she says that there's a disc, and I'm ready. My head's ready to explode.
Yeah, I was actually expecting like a big floppy disk to be under the floor.
Yeah.
So luckily the dust didn't mess it up at all.
Okay. So Heller comes to see Jack, and Boudreau is with them, and it's sort of like an awkward conversation between Heller and Jack, where Heller's like, "Now I want you two guys to put your differences aside," and Mark's like, "Boy, did you ever think this would happen, Jack?" Jack's like, I just need to get back to work. I mean, isn't this crazy though? The two of us, the two guys, we both hooked up with Audrey, and now here we are working together. Jack's like, yeah, okay, let's gonna need the key cards. Let's get back to work. Jack was not really engaging in the irony of these two guys having to work together.
Yeah, no, and Boudreau is just, Eskimo bros, come on.
Yeah. So Jack is like, okay, I don't care. So then Kate calls Jack, and they said that basically they have the disc that to get it back into the system. It's under the floorboard, so they're going to have guys go to work at it. Now, this was the second of the really emotional scenes in the episode. Heller comes and talks to Audrey and ends up having the last conversation that they're ever going to have, presuming President Heller is dead. And he wants to know, hey, princess, you still got that picture of us on the beach that time? And she's like, oh, yeah. And they have a nice little scene. You don't get this a lot on 24, and have it not be, super, precocious, that little girl a couple of weeks ago with her mom, where they overdo it. I feel like this was just right what they did here.
Yeah, I thought it was a good scene. I feel like we've had scenes like this before in 24. Like a lot of times with Jack and Kim, where Jack thinks that he's going off and he's going to die, and it's his last time talking to Kim, and obviously it hasn't been. So this is one of the times that it actually followed through, where this was their last conversation, and you can go back, and that actually is a very emotional scene because they're so close to each other. And that I bought the picture. Did you buy that picture was them?
Yeah, I wonder if that was really a picture of what's it, William Devane? Is that
Yeah.
the actor's name? Yeah, it looked like him. I don't know if that was Audrey, but I wonder if he has a daughter that is a blonde girl. That
And the mom kind of looked like Audrey too. Like I looked at that and I was like, wow, they if they photoshopped that, they did a good job.
they did a really good job. Okay, so then even in that scene where she's like, Dad, how you doing? He's like, aside from this being the worst day of my life, I guess I'm doing okay. Like, all right.
Yeah,
That's fair.
the whole episode, he felt like it seemed like he was in good spirits. I mean, there's a scene a little later where he's kind of joking around, and through this one, he's not upset that this is the last time he's going to see his daughter. I think he's really kind of happy to go out a hero like this.
He rose to the occasion, certainly in this final hour.
Yeah, no, he
And,
did, and we got some really good Heller moments in this hour.
and he wasn't repeating himself, and he didn't have any slip-ups in this whole episode. Like he really, like, once he had his purpose of this is how I'm going to go out, this was basically him just in his finest hour.
Yeah, they had a really good moment together, and then he leaves without saying goodbye.
Yeah. And so Audrey's like, I got to get back to work, Dad. Like, okay.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, keep planning that fake meeting so I can escape to go kill myself.
And okay, so they talked about this meeting, and like 20 seconds later, he walks in and she's like, "So I'm working on this staff meeting right now." Like that was I not to nitpick, but that was
Like,
one of those where I was like,
but never. And who was at this meeting, and what did they discuss? Like, Mark wasn't there, the president wasn't there. What were they talking about?
yeah, I wish they would have showed a little of that meeting. They're like, "So we have some birthdays coming up soon. What do you guys think? Like ice cream cake?" Somebody's just trying to stall for time.
Yeah. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you think it will be if these drones hit London? What do you guys think? Anybody? Does anybody have anybody like, okay, really bad? Okay, I've heard super bad. Okay. So I don't know what they were talking about over there.
That would be a great spinoff, just trying to fill a meeting for a half hour.
Yeah. And that every person was at. Every person in the White House was at.
It was like King's Landing. Every single Secret Service person is in this meeting.
Yeah. Okay, so then 6:25, Jordan Reed calls up Steve Navarro and is like, okay, I'm like, Steve, I've been shot. He's like, oh,
I
man,
love this scene. This was great.
That's a real bummer. All right, I'm gonna send somebody for you. And so
Reed was freaking out on the phone. I mean, I probably would be too if I was in that situation. But he's like, Steve, you gotta get me. You gotta come get me right now. I just got shot.
Yeah, but Jordan Reed has his wits about him, because then he's like, basically he's hiding in he ends up hiding in a garage, because then we don't see him for a little while, and Navarro calls up the henchman. He's like, all right, here's where he is. Go finish this guy now. Go kill Jordan Reed for me. Okay.
Do you think Jordan Reed knew when he called Steve Navarro that Steve Navarro had turned on him, or do you think he figured it out after?
I think he figured it out, because once the henchman comes to get him, he's like, well, this is the only person that knew where I was, so obviously, Steve Navarro's working with you. Now, can you explain this to me? Because I didn't understand what was going on. So Jack has like this giant like medical briefcase, and he's working on Heller, and he ends up like cutting like a big like gash in his arm. And it's sort of like a Star Trek moment where President Heller's like, damn it, Jack, you're a Secret Service officer, not a doctor. And so, why did Jack need to cut President Heller's arm?
Well, because I think there was a tracking chip that was in President Heller's arm, and he needed to remove that so that the Secret Service wouldn't know where President Heller was.
Oh, that's what that was?
And then he put it in like a box. If they tracked it, they would just track to the box, and they would know that they were gone.
Does like Obama have one of those?
I mean, as I was watching that, I was like, I guess I could see that being a thing that presidents have. It makes, I mean, there's technology, and this is years in the future.
I guess so, man. So I can't believe henchmen have like flip phones, but the president has like LoJack.
Yeah, and did you hear what Heller yelled when Jack cut into his arm?
What did he say?
He goes, yikes! Like,
Yikes!
Yikes! When they're getting cut open.
I guess not. I guess if my dog has one of those chips, I guess the president should have one of those.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty much the same technology.
Okay. All right. So then they end up putting the briefcase away, and so they are going to get President Heller out of there. So Jack Bauer seems like kind of low tech. What's going on Jack Bauer's phone? Basically, like there's like a red dot that it represents a security guard.
Yeah, I don't know. It reminded me of like a map from a video game or something. I feel like it's the same map that was in the 24 video game, probably.
Probably. All right. So who treats their Secret Service guys better, President Heller or President Underwood?
I mean, it's got to be President Underwood, right? You don't get locked in the bathroom and punched out by President Heller.
Well, is it true that both President Heller's Secret Service and President Underwood's Secret Service both take huge shots to the face? Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that true?
And they're both in scenes with 3 people.
So, all right. So Jack Bauer ends up. Heller's like buying some time and say, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go up the stairs. I'm gonna get some exercise in before the whole drone strike. I want to make sure get the heart going." And then Jack just cold cocks the guy, and Heller's like, "Damn it, Jack! Like, what did Heller want him to do?"
Yeah. Well, what else was Jack gonna do there? I thought he was gonna do a sleeper hold though.
Yeah, so no, Jack just completely knocked out the guy. Somebody sent me a screenshot last week of Jack Bauer just like completely whiffing on the guy that he knocked out in the episode last week. Did you see that at all?
I did not see that, but
it's like Jack just like missing the guy's face by like a foot, and the guy. Oh.
This is back to the soccer players.
Yes. Throw a red card at that guy also.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he locked the Secret Service guy in the bathroom, right?
Did he lock him in the bathroom? I thought he just left him on the floor.
I thought Jack was going to go lock him in the bathroom.
Okay.
Maybe I misheard that. I don't know.
So they go to commercial when they get out to the street, and then they come back, and it's daylight at commercial. We come back from commercial, pitch black. Like
I thought there was something weird there.
Sun went down real fast today.
Yeah, I mean, it's London.
Yeah.
It does. So I was in London over the last winter, and it does get dark there really fast and really early.
Okay. So all right, who knows? Maybe a drone took out the sun.
Oh, maybe a drone is just in front of the sun, like an eclipse.
All right. So it got dark real quick. Jack's flying the chopper. The assassin is moving in on Jordan Reed. And again, if Jordan Reed gets the jump on you, you really do suck at being an assassin.
Yeah, he hits him in the face with like some pipes or something.
Like a lead pipe. Yeah.
Yeah. Jordan Reed with the lead pipe in the garage. So he tells the guy, okay, put your hands above your head. And he's like, okay, why did Steve send you to kill me? Does the guy know why Steve wants him dead? I'm sure the guy's like, hey, it's Steve. Go kill this guy. Like the guy's like, why? Why do you want him? Why do you want me to kill that guy? Like he doesn't know. No, this is just like incompetence on both sides. It just, there had to be a winner of this, I guess. But if there could be 2 losers, it would be 2 losers. 2 losers,
right. They're really a real trial by combat with 2 losers going on here.
Yeah.
And so, the hitman has this terrible phone, and he's like, I hope the safety's not on. And he's like, I don't think it's on. And so he goes to check it. Falls for the oldest trick in the book.
I mean, if anybody ever pulls a gun on me, that's the line I'm going to.
Yeah. Oh, hope the safety's not on. He's like, you better hope it is. Okay, so they end up having this battle, and the hitman ends up getting a knife, and he ends up stabbing Jordan, but Jordan ends up getting a couple shots off and kills that guy.
Yeah, and that was pretty cool because you just see it from above the hitman and Jordan, and you just see the 2 holes appear in the hitman's back. I thought that looked pretty neat.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And so Jordan Reed is left for dead here, but he's got to get a call into Kate Morgan.
I mean, they showed him in the last part of the episode where they went to the 4-frame grid, so something. I mean, I guess something else will happen, but I just really don't know how he survives. Okay,
so the good guys are at the al-harazzi house. They're pulling up the floorboards. They end up finding the disc, which they end up getting over to Chloe. And Kate comes in and talks to Steve. He's like, hey, we need Jordan. Where's Jordan at? Steve's like, boy, I don't know. They must have gone on a break. Can't find him anywhere. That's weird. He's not. I'm gonna tell security. Start looking for him. So then they are trying to figure out exactly where he is. Do you think Kate is buying this?
No, I think she's seeing through it. It's not like him to be out of the office for a half hour, 45 minutes. So they know, she knows something's up, and asking this other guy if he's seen him, and she's going to put two and two together. She seems like she's pretty competent.
All right, so Kate Morgan is eventually going to find out what's going on here, and then Steve's going to get his comeuppance in the next 4 hours.
Yeah, and do we know why Steve is doing this? I guess we don't yet.
We don't know. He's got an axe to grind where he's trying to frame Kate's husband for selling secrets to China. Now, was he selling secrets to China? Was he selling secrets to Adrian Cross? We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, something's not adding up here, but I don't think he's involved in this Margot al-harazzi plot, at least not yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think he has any connection to it other than, killing some of the top analysts in the CIA at the time that they need them most.
Yeah, he is helping her.
Yeah. If anything, I feel like the move should have been like when Navarro found out that Jordan was digging into the things, he should have been like, "Hey, Jordan, get your ass working on this drone strike attack. Like, work on that tomorrow. Then focus on the drone strike thing, and then kill Jordan Reed tomorrow."
Yeah, I think that would have been a lot less risky, a lot less loose ends, but Steve Navarro, not very forward-thinking.
Yeah,
apparently.
Stop working on this other project.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, then we have Margot and Ian get set up in their new place, and luckily, like their setup is very portable. They can sort of, like, if I wanted to go work at the Coffee Bean, like, I wouldn't be able to take my setup and go and get set up in the Coffee Bean, get on the internet and everything in the time that it took them to go and get their whole joystick set up and back to controlling the drones in the safe house.
Yeah, and it looked like it was like a motel at first, but then it showed that huge room, so I guess I don't know if it was a motel or where they were set up. But yeah, drones on the go.
Drones on the go. Okay, so then Margot's basically saying the plan, okay, so after we get Heller, then we'll just destroy the other drones. And Ian gives a little bit like, really? That's what we're going to do? Like, can you believe he's second-guessing Margot al-harazzi? Does he want another slap in the face?
So I kind of feel like where this is going, potentially, is that Margot's going to say, okay, we killed Heller, we're going to get rid of the drones, and Ian is going to become the new big bad guy of this season, and he's going to take out Margot.
But I feel like what was Ian's his whole thing last week was, oh, you shouldn't have killed Simone. Maybe Ian's gonna find out that they killed Simone or something like that. Like, oh, now they have to pay because they killed Simone.
Yeah, I just think Ian kept saying, we've come this far, we've done this. He doesn't understand the concept of the sunk cost. So I think he is just really out to do something with these drones. He doesn't want them to just go to waste. All
right, so Jack and Heller land at Wembley Stadium. Chloe, it's very funny. She's like working in like a bar, and there's a guy like trying to hit on her while she's working. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, did the guy like bump into her? I was trying to figure out what exactly happened there.
No, I think the guy was like, "Hey, baby," like I feel he was just like trying to hit on her. He likes that goth look that she's got going on.
He's like, "I loved you and the girl with the dragon tattoo. You were the best."
Yeah, and then Adrian Cross calls up. And Chloe, vintage Chloe, like, oh, what do you want right now? I'm busy. Call me back later. And he's like, are you helping Jack Bauer? And he's like, yeah, he needs my help right now, okay? Like, I gotta go. And why is Adrian Cross getting so mad that Chloe's helping out Jack Bauer?
I mean, because, I think he is in love with Chloe, and he doesn't like any other man in getting her attention. But maybe he's just maybe he knew he had to stall her. And he was just trying to stall her from figuring out.
Do you think Adrian Cross is in on the Margot al-harazzi thing?
He's got to be connected to it somehow. We kind of have two bad guys, and there's got to be some connection to them that we're going to get in these last 4 hours.
I don't know. We haven't seen a smoking gun yet of anything of Margot al-harazzi having to do with Adrian Cross.
Yeah, except that they're both kind of trying to mess up Jack and Chloe's operation today. They're going against them. So I don't know. I feel like there's going to be something we're going to get in like the second to last or last episode that's going to connect these dots.
Can I ask you a question that probably doesn't have a good answer? Okay, so in the first hour of the show, Chloe is in CIA custody, correct?
Yeah.
And she's being tortured for secrets. Like, why are they torturing Chloe?
I think to find out about Adrian Cross.
Yet Adrian Cross is in cahoots with the head of the CIA. So wouldn't Adrian Cross's connections to Navarro be able to prevent Chloe from being captured by the CIA? Like, wouldn't you think that, like, doesn't that seem like a contradiction that the head of the CIA is in bed with Adrian Cross and the CIA at the same time has captured Chloe and is torturing Chloe for information about Adrian Cross?
Yeah, I mean, government bureaucracy. You got to go through the proper channels.
Okay, whatever.
You don't buy that?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like if Steve Navarro is going to kill Jordan Reed because Adrian Cross says, "Oh, you got to kill this guy." Like, I find it hard to believe that he couldn't figure out a way to, get Chloe back to where she's supposed to be.
Is this a consequence of the writers not writing out the whole plot before the season starts?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's keep going. So Mark and Audrey. Then this was like the third, I thought, really emotional scene.
Yeah, and I thought where we were going with this was that we were going to get Audrey with her last phone call to Heller convincing him not to do it.
Yeah. And so it starts off kind of funny where Audrey's in the room and she's like showing the letter. She's like, "Mark, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe what's going on." And I thought, typical Boudreaux, I thought he's going to be like, "Oh my God. I can't believe this either." But he doesn't even say anything, and she's sort of like, "You knew." She's like, "How could you do this? How could I ever trust you again?"
He did not try to hide that at all.
Yeah. And she says to him, "You might as well have killed him with your bare hands." And he's like, "Yeah, you know what? I did it, and I would do it again because I love that man." I thought,
yeah.
He wasn't douchey.
No, he was. This was a good scene. I thought that Mark Boudreaux, I wrote down Mark Boudreaux, husband of the year, but didn't really mean it like that because he's just kind of cold towards Audrey. I mean, her father is about to die. Yeah,
he says to her, "You do what you have to do, but we have to be quiet about this. So actually, don't do what you have to do. Do what I say you have to do, and just shut the hell up."
I mean, I really thought we were going to get like a Mark being like, Audrey, this just doesn't seem to be working. I really thought
he was going to break it up?
Yeah, I thought he was going to really just pile it on and also do that.
I thought what he was going to do is to be like, "Yeah, well, actually, this was Jack Bauer's idea." He doesn't even throw Jack Bauer under the bus.
No, he never says Jack Bauer's name. He just said somebody the president trusts.
Yeah. So is Mark Boudreaux turning around on us, or do you think he's going to go back to being a douche soon?
I mean, he's stepping up to the plate, but I still think he's trying to cover his own tracks here.
Okay, so then
Russia thing. We got to get the payoff on the Russia thing.
Finally, Jack and Heller are at the stadium, and Heller says to Jack, another great line, like, "It's the end of the road, Jack." and he basically tells Jack Bauer he pardoned him for everything.
Yeah, and Jack doesn't even want the power. Or the pardon.
Take a pardon. When you get offered a pardon, Jack, you take it. So,
and the writers of 24 went, "Yes, we can bring Jack back to America and have another season.
We can do it." Okay. And so, Jack Bauer, the last thing he says is, "I think what you're doing is wrong." And here comes Chloe, and she's like, "Okay, well, we can get into one of the drones, and we need more time." And Heller just says, "We're out of time," and he just walks off.
Yeah, he really turned the tables on Jack. That was a great kind of last line from Heller to deliver Jack's own line to him.
Yeah. So there you go. And then President Heller, he walks off and he does like the thing that he takes off his glasses and he puts his glasses in his pocket. Oh, it was good. It was very, very good.
And do you think he knew the amount of firepower he was in store for? Or do you think he thought maybe it was just gonna be like a sniper or like?
You know what? I would rather go out with a missile strike than to get shot. I feel like if you're gonna go, boom, you won't even know it.
Yeah, I mean I think that's probably pretty quick and painless.
Yeah, I'd rather be. If I had the choice to get the Jordan Reed or the President Heller, give me the President Heller. Just blow me up with a missile. I don't even see it coming. Or don't stab me in the neck and then let me bleed out in some garage in London.
Yeah, that's probably a good point.
I think so. And so Margot al-Harazzi says, I want to push the button.
At first we get the enhance, and it just starts going and getting clearer and clearer, and then we get his face.
Yes, perfect. They do a face match. Boy, shooting these drones must be super easy. That all you have to do is just line it up. It's really just okay. Hit A and then kill the president.
Yeah, and it even tells you, it gives you like a little profile on the side that says James Heller, U.S. President. It's, it connects with his LinkedIn page. It's great.
Oh my God, can you tweet to him from that?
Yeah, probably. You just got to use the hashtag like drones to go or something.
Can you post the missile strike to Facebook and tag him?
And then literally tag him with a missile.
Okay, so President Heller is dead, and that's the end of the episode. Oh my God, what a fun show tonight. This was very, very good.
Yeah, it was a good one. I wish we would have gotten more awesome Bauer. I feel like last week we got like peak Bauer, and this week we just kind of got him helping.
He was kind of passive in this episode.
Yeah.
Other than punching that one guy out.
Yeah, I mean and he was very quick to do that.
Yeah. What do you think it goes from here? What happens next week?
So can I talk about the previews? Previews are cool,
sure,
right?
That's previews.
Okay. So I was really excited because I thought we're going to get our time jump now. The president's been blown up. We're going to jump like 4 to 6 hours in the future, and the vice president is going to be there, and we're going to see kind of the aftermath of the president being blown up. And it seems from the previews that we just kind of go on, next minute is the start of the next episode.
Yeah, they've been teasing in the media maybe there's a time jump coming. Maybe it's going to be like a 12-hour time jump. Maybe there is, but I don't know when that's happening.
I mean, is it possible what we're going to get is we're going to get a time jump just before the last episode, and it's going to be an epilogue that takes place way later in the day?
I guess it's possible, but I feel like that seems like a pretty slow hour of 24. I feel like you need to have at least 2 hours after the time jump. Like I could see maybe after this week's episode, maybe they kill Margot al-Harazzi. I could see this being the last stand for Margot al-Harazzi, and then they go to bed thinking like, okay, everything is cool, but then, in the morning, it turns out that, Chloe's been abducted or something like that, and we got to figure out what's going on with Adrian Cross.
And that's like so then we have like the last 3 weeks are in the future at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm curious how they're going to find Margot al-Harazzi. I guess with the Chloe hacking is going to find her. But, they don't know where she is right now.
My prediction is we use the drone against her and blow her up with her own drones. What do you think of that?
I don't see them doing that. I feel like they're so anti-drone. They're not going to.
It'd be so ironic.
It would. I feel like that's happened.
How do you like them apples, Margot?
From the dead, from the grave. He's saying that.
Yeah, he's saying that. Boom. And they're gonna let Jack Bauer press the button and get her.
Yeah. Everybody seems to be able to do Naveed's job. Is Naveed just that guy in the office who acts like he has a really tough job and won't let anybody do it? And then when you finally do it, you're like, oh, he's not doing much.
He does the George Costanza because he walks around like, oh my God, this is so hard. My job is so hard. Like, oh, this is so hard. Oh my God, flying all these drones. Like, oh man, Naveed's job is really hard. And then you do it. It's really easy.
Yeah. Is he parking his car at the al-Harazzi house, like, and it's just been there for a month, and everybody thinks he's the first one there and the last one to leave? Yeah,
he takes naps under his desk.
That's what he's doing. He's napping.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's take some questions. By the way, if they do kill off Margot al-Harazzi this week, do you think there's any chance that Margot al-Harazzi could come back from the dead at the end of the season? Do you think that there's a chance that will happen, or do you think that they're going to skip that?
I have a feeling that she's going to be gone when she's gone.
Okay. All right. We'll see what happens. All right, let's get to some of your questions and comments. Johnny D. Silvera, the great Johnny D. Silvera, wants to know who's more likely to survive, Doug Stamper or James Heller? Well, we saw James Heller got blown up by a missile. So I think
I feel like Jordan Reed is in the Jordan Reed is in the Doug Stamper position right now.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about other shows here. Katie McKenna wants to know, was President Heller snubbed on not getting the silent clock at the end of the episode? Do you think there's anything to that? No silent clock?
I feel like they don't realize people remember the silent clock, maybe. Because I
Yeah.
didn't notice it until I started seeing people tweet about it. I mean, what was the last? I guess the last silent clock was at the end of the finale from the last season, but
Okay.
that wasn't for a death. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't recall the silent clock. We'd have to ask Josh that question.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to Lauren Garcia, and Lauren wants to know, Jack makes a large, deep cut in the president's arm, and all the president has to say is, ouch. What did he say? He said
Yikes. Yeah.
Yikes. Plus, what's with the little Band-Aid to patch it up? Are we supposed to believe that all it took was to stop the bleeding of a large, deep cut was that bandage? Yeah, I was a little confused about, but maybe they have like futuristic medical technology there as well.
Yeah, this is 2020, all right? They have the technology now.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. It'll heal right up. Plus, I mean, are we really too worried about his arm being hurt? He's about to be blown up.
I guess so. All right. Then Imad Khan wants to know, what do you think will happen with Jordan? Last we saw him, he was bleeding out from a stab to the chest and unable to move. Do you think he can communicate what he knows before he dies? Yes, I do. I think he will get off a message to Kate before he dies.
Yeah, I think that's definitely. I mean, I don't know what else he can do besides that, but he's got to get something to her and let her know.
He can text her.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out.
Email, Facebook,
something.
There's all kinds of ways.
Siri, like, oh, his phone's broken. So maybe that's the problem, that his phone is broken. His phone is waterlogged. He's got the other guy has like a flip phone. So I don't know what he's gonna be able to do.
Yeah, I guess he's gonna maybe have to just call like the operator, and just hit 0 and connect to his CIA headquarters, please.
Yes, give me the number. Give me the number for Kate Morgan. I say, oh, the adult film star? No, the CIA operative. Like, well, she has an unlisted number. Like, ah!
I mean, I guess maybe that is the plot device of the dumb phone, is that if it was a smartphone, it'd be much easier to get a hold of her. With a dumb phone, this is what it used to be like in the 90s, people.
It's like a Seinfeld episode.
Yeah.
Okay. This is from Sofan Batan. Heller is dead. I'm intrigued to know what happens next regarding Alex Cross. What is the mission that Chloe is part of with Cross? Well, he basically runs like a WikiLeaks, and he's releasing like classified government documents.
I mean, can't that wait till tomorrow? There's been all these attacks in London. Also, why are the bars still open? There have been, like, people just don't seem at all concerned about, like, a hospital was blown up, and, like, all the streets were blown up, and now Wembley Stadium's been blown up. I mean, like, people should freak out a little more in London.
Hey, people gotta live. People gotta live, Zach.
I mean, maybe that's why everybody's at the bar. They're just like, it's the end of the world. Let's get drunk and let's hook up with this girl with the dragon tattoo over here.
Yeah, some hooligans are hitting on Chloe.
Yeah. If only they knew what happened to their soccer stadium tonight.
Okay. Let's go to Jordan Chong wants to know, where is the English football team that's supposed to practice their World Cup choking strategy now? Oh, hey now. Oh, no, you didn't. Yes, he did. Jordan Chong. Too soon.
Hey, there's 3 games. They got a couple more left.
Okay. Let's go to Lauren, who wants to know, do you think that Chloe O'Brien was able to hack into the terrorist's computer and put up a false image, like maybe put a 7-second delay on the image with the president? I'm just wishful thinking. Do you think that Chloe was able to take a picture of President Heller, hack it into the terrorist's enhancing system, and do a fake Heller?
I mean, that's the kind of outside-the-box thinking that old Jack Bauer would have had. But new Jack Bauer is just like, yeah, sure, die. And I'm not going to run away from this missile that's about to hit the stadium.
Yeah. No, I think Heller was ready to... He was all in on this plan.
Yeah, but everybody else was against it. I mean, when has Jack ever told a president besides Logan that he disagreed with the decision he made?
Not often, and Jack Bauer is always right. So it's rare that Jack Bauer is, advising the wrong thing.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, he blew himself up without any proof that she's going to get rid of these drones. He's trusting Margot al-harazzi.
Well, I thought he made a good point. He's like, well, if she lies, then everybody will know she's a liar, and it'll discredit her, and she'll be seen as a liar in the eyes of the world, Jack. Okay.
I mean, I guess, is anybody going to know that this is what happened? I mean, is he going to expose, like, hey, everybody, look, we negotiated with a terrorist. I'm the U.S. president, and I blew myself up.
Yes, because he has the video, and he's going to post the video on his YouTube.
Well, he's going to get tons of subscribers, and he's going to be dead and can't even take advantage of them.
Well, that's a lot of artists aren't appreciated until after they die.
It's true. That's a good point.
Okay.
Post-human is going to get the all the awards.
Okay, let's go to Eskimo Joe.
Eskimo brother.
Eskimo Joe wants to know, is there going to be another series of 24? Which of the past characters are left that they could bring back to the show? Well, there's not many.
Tony Almeida is still around.
Is he?
Yeah, I think so. And actually, there's like a Tony Almeida Twitter account. I was looking at the 24 hashtag today, and Tony's still tweeting from somewhere.
Okay.
So I'm with Josh. I'm a big Tony Almeida fan. They should bring him back.
What's not to like?
Yeah, he's great.
Okay, this is from Jeff. Is the U.S. president really allowed to just requisition a major sports stadium? I mean, I guess so.
Yeah, I feel like that's... I mean, there was clearly nothing else going on at that stadium that night.
Hey, the good news, Zach, no NFL games taking place in London this season.
Where are the Lions going to play then?
Yes. No. I'm sure they are actually going to be in the real life NFL season, but not on 24.
No, I mean, the field is kind of in the same shape as, like, in the new Batman movie, or the newest Batman movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, was Bane responsible for this?
Oh, maybe Bane is the bad guy that we're waiting. He's the connection between Adrian Cross and Margot al-harazzi.
Can you do Bane?
Bane? No, I can't do Bane. I can't do the impressions. But I do this Bane cheer for this football player at Michigan State who wears like a Bane mask while he plays.
Okay, how's the Bane cheer go?
We just go like this. We go Bane. Anytime he has a big play.
That's very humorous, Zach. Okay, Jordan wants to know, what are the chances that Jack gets a chance to use his pardon after all this is said and done? Feel pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be up to Fox whether he uses that pardon or not, but I think he'll be using it.
Yes. Okay.
I got to think I'm thinking we're getting another season, right?
I don't know. I don't know how strong the numbers are.
I mean, I don't know. What else is on Fox besides this?
Well, that's the problem. Fox has been in trouble this season.
Yeah, so, this is something they can just keep going. There's always new stories.
Okay. All right, we'll do last question. This is from JAB. Since the World Cup is going on, that must be a red card on Margot. I'm pretty sure drone missiles aren't allowed in Wembley Stadium. That's a good point. Throw her out.
Yeah, no, don't let her even play in the next game either. So
yeah. Is it true that Ian al-harazzi was blowing a Vesuvula?
Probably. Maybe that's what Naveed was doing, and that's why he acted like he was so busy. Yeah, I mean, clearly they aren't big World Cup fans. They planned this strike during the World Cup. They didn't want to go to the games. So okay. It is, what, 2020? There might be a World Cup going on in 2020. I don't know if they'll.
I think it's past that. I think it's past that.
Yeah, I don't know why I feel like I keep thinking 2020, but you might be right.
Well, if it's 2022, then let's see. So then 2016, yeah, I guess it would be 2020. All right. No, actually, no. So the next one would be 2018, then 2022 would be right on target.
Yeah, so don't say target.
Boom. Okay. All right. Well, Zach, thank you for your phenomenal work here, filling in for Josh, who's on assignment, doing some cool stuff on the other side of the world.
Yeah, and my friend is gonna go visit Josh, and then I'm trying to get myself a permanent 24 recap gig. So I'm just gonna send my friend to go see him, and stay there, Josh.
Perfect. All right. So next Monday night we'll be back to recap episode number 9 of 24. Live Another Day. If you missed it last night, check out our coverage of the Game of Thrones season finale. A very fun show. All that's on postshow.recaps.com. We're going to have our Game of Thrones feedback show later on this week on Wednesday. Plus, don't miss Jessica Lisa Taylor Cotter covering Orange is the New Black season 2. They're going to have another live recap of the next episodes that they're up to. I believe it's episodes 5, 6, and 7 this upcoming Friday. So a lot going on post-show recaps. Don't miss any of it. Subscribe to our podcast on the website by clicking the podcast tab or our YouTube channel by going to postshowrecaps.com/YouTube. What do you think of that, Zach?
There's a lot going on.
I
had a lot to catch up on.
There's a lot going on. All right, everybody, have a great night. We love to hear from you guys in the comments, and we appreciate it when you like our YouTube videos. Have a great week. We'll talk to you again next week. We're out of time. Damn it. Bye.